Hello and welcome to our church without walls. Today's tip: the blind man. One day at work, I was told to watch for the blind man who was going to fix the window. And I admit, I had to think about that for a minute too. But my supervisor was talking about someone who replaces the blinds. And there was someone else who talked about the blind. Jesus talked about a blind man. He talked of a blind man in one of his parables he was teaching. Jesus asked the question in Luke 6:39. Can the blind lead the blind? Will they not both fall into the ditch? You see, our hope and the promise of Christ is that one day during the rapture, we will be changed into Christ likeness. We will be exactly like him. Amen. But while we yet remain here on earth, we are to seek to be as much like Jesus as humanly possible. Yes, even in our tired, worn out, rusted, decrepit, sin riddled, bone aching, wrinkled, and some more than others, gray haired body. We are to remember that one day we will have a perfect body. But the point Jesus was making in this verse was much more than just looking toward the future with him. Jesus was showing us how to live God's love in a lost world. In bearing God's likeness, we must live to love, no matter how ugly the other person is. So, to live love, we must bear God's likeness. To reflect his character, we must have his character. So, if we ourselves are blind, not having God's character, and try to lead a blind man, we both will fall in a ditch. In fact, before we give counseling or a response to someone, especially to one who does not know Christ, maybe we should remember Christ's concluding words found in verse 45. For out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. And I like the way Lawrence O. Richard states it on page 55 of his book, Christian Education. He says, the overflow of the heart will be expressed in what the mouth speaks. What are your words saying about your heart? Are you leading the blind? I'm Dr. Robbie with another tip from the Toolbox.